So guys, now please confirm to me. All of you get my voice on screen. Those are attending in online. Am I audible, guys? Now please respond to me. Is my voice on screen is clear to all of you guys? Please respond to me. Haan ji. All right. Good morning, guys. All right, sir. Now, if any of you are new in today's session, so try to take this link. This link is able to provide that everyday regular classroom notes. Just directly you can take this link if required. Everyday classroom notes here we are able to get through this link only. So about our classes, if you want to get any details, any information there, just save this number. Hemant is a contact person, right? Anything you can ask to him regarding anything about my classes now. Okay, right. So in the last two classes, just we started. 1 minute. All right, so now check it. I think so. My screen is visible to everybody. Okay. All right. So in the last class, just we started with what there differences between Java and others. There we completed. Just we completed only two differences. What are the two differences? Just we completed in the last session. First one is C and C++ are static programming languages, but Java is a dynamic programming language. So here the point is how we are able to say C and C++ are static programming languages and how we are able to say Java is a dynamic programming language. Points are very clear. If any programming language follows static memory allocation, means that allocating memory at compilation time, then that programming language is called static programming language. C and C++ are static programming languages. Why? Because they're following static memory allocation, means that at a compilation time only memory will be allocated for the data in the case of C and C++. But Java is a dynamic programming language. Why? Because Java follows dynamic memory allocation. What is the meaning of this dynamic memory allocation? No, allocating memory for the data at the runtime of the application, at execution time of the application. So it is called as like what their dynamic memory allocation. So Java is what their dynamic programming language. There are given some fundamental concepts which are required to understand that C++ are static and Java is a dynamic programming language. Some fundamental concepts here are given. Okay, fine. After completion of that, yesterday I have given the second difference also. What was the second difference here we have given there? Preprocessor exists in C and C++, but preprocessor does not exist in what there? Java. Now understand it clearly. So before going to understand, preprocessor is required in C and C++ and preprocessor is not required in the case of Java. Before understanding this point here, first we have to understand what is the location of the preprocessor and what is the job of the preprocessor. After that, we are going to understand why preprocessor is required in C and C++ and why preprocessor is not required in the case of Java. That here we are going to understand it clearly. Now observe carefully. The location of the preprocessor, if you understand it, no, right? If you see the total structure, C program here, if you take no C file, compilation here we are going to perform. After the compilation here, we are able to get what files there? .exe file. We can execute it and where we are able to get some output. If you open the compilation process now, where we are able to have four missions. What are the four missions inside the compilation here? Preprocessor, compiler, assembler, loader, link editor. And if you take compiler again, where 6 phases are available internally, lexical analysis phase, syntax analysis phase, semantic analysis phase, intermediate code generation, code optimization, and what next one here? Code generation now. These are all the phases here what we are having. All right. Now preprocessor location is what there is the first phase in the compilation. Preprocessor phase is what there first phase in the compilation. Then what it is able to do? If we come for this point, answers are very clear. In C and C++, the complete libraries are provided in the form of header files. Examples for header files are what there, stdio.h, conio.h, math.h, and so on. To use the libraries in C and C++ programs, we have to include the above header files by using hash include statements. All right, what are the various header files here we are having here? Now observe carefully. Hash include stdio.h, hash include conio.h, hash include math.h. It's okay. If we compile the above C program, then preprocessor will perform some actions. What action that preprocessor is able to perform there? First, preprocessor will recognize all hash include statements. After that, preprocessor will take the header files names. After that, preprocessor will check whether these header files are available or not inside the C software. If these are not available, preprocessor will raise an error. If these are available, preprocessor will load all these header files content to the memory. At what time that preprocessor is loading all these header files content to the memory? At a compilation time. At a compilation time only these total libraries are loaded to the memory. This type of loading is called what there? Static loading. This type of loading is called what there? Static loading. Now coming to the conclusion, in C and C++ preprocessor is required. For what purpose that preprocessor is required in C and C++? No, to recognize all hash include statements. In order to load the specified header files content to the memory, we need preprocessor in the case of C and C++. But it is not required in the case of Java. Right, why it is not required in the case of Java? Let us understand the points clearly. Diagram anyway I have given that yesterday. Next one is what there? In Java, the complete predefined library was provided in the form of classes and interfaces inside the packages. Classes and interfaces inside the packages. Understand it now. Tell me some examples for the packages now. Java.io package, Java.util package, Java.sql package, and so on. If you want to use the Java predefined libraries in Java programs, first we have to import the packages to the Java program. To import the packages to the Java program, here we are using what there? Import java.io.star, import java.util.star, import java.sql.star, and so on. Here, what is the meaning of this star here? No, star represents all classes and interfaces from the provided package. After that, when we compile the above program, then the compiler will perform some actions. What actions the compiler is able to perform there? Compiler will recognize all import statements. Compiler will take all the provided packages names, java.io, java.util, java.sql, and so on. After that, compiler will check whether these packages are available or not in Java software. If they are not available, compiler will raise an error. If they are available, compiler will not raise any error. At the same time, compiler will not load any package content to the memory. In Java, compiler is responsible for checking whether packages are available or not available. That's it. Compiler is not at all responsible for loading any library to the memory. Understand my point clearly? Then after that, okay, compiler is not loading package content to the memory, but who will take the responsibility of loading package content to the memory? When we execute the Java program, JVM will load the required classes and interfaces content to the memory as per the requirement only. Unnecessarily, when that JVM will not load any like class or interface to the memory. JVM will load the required class and interfaces to the memory as per the requirement from the packages. So that is at runtime only. So loading libraries at runtime is called as what there? Dynamic loading. Loading libraries at runtime is called what there? Dynamic loading. You can understand clearly C and C++ are following what there? Static loading. But Java is following what type of loading? No, dynamic loading. So at least these points are giving clarity for us. No, C and C++ are static and Java is what there? Dynamic again. Not only in the point of memory allocation, in the point of libraries loading also, what is going on in C and C++ and what is going on inside the Java, if you understand, C and C++ are always following what their static kind of thing. But Java is following what their dynamic kind of thing. So because of that reason, C and C++ are static and Java is what their dynamic programming language. The related information here I have given there, now observe carefully, clearly. Right, sir. Then conclusion here, if you understand it now, in Java, preprocessors are not required. Preprocessor is not required. Why preprocessor is not required in the case of Java? Why? Because in Java, hash include statements are not available. Why? Because in Java, header files are not available. Alternatively, what we are having there, no import statements are available. In place of the header files, we are having classes and interfaces in the form of packages. Classes and interfaces in the form of like what their packages which are available. So because of that reason, we don't require what their preprocessor, but what is required, no compile and JVM are available for us, no, to perform the same activities of the respective preprocessor. So all these points here we understand clearly. Good. Now on the base of this particular content here, now diagram also are given there. This diagram is representing clearly the Java related information, how Java is available here now. If it is a Java program there, if we compile the program there, what we are getting, no dot class of files. Please remember it. In C and C++, what files here we are getting there, .exe. In the case of Java, what we are getting, no dot class files here we are getting. Nice. This dot class file, observe carefully. After this dot class files, if we execute there, we are able to get some output. Now in the compilation, what we are having there, compiler, assembler, loader, link editor is available. What is not available here? Preprocessor is not available. Again, compiler internal structure is as it is, that we can understand clearly. Has got it or not? Yes. After this, now we are going to have one important interview question. Here we are going to have one important interview question that here we have to understand now. Now let's understand this clearly. What's the question here I'm asking there? Here we have to answer for this question. As you understand the previous discussion here, we have to answer for this question. What are the differences between hash include statement and import statement? As a valid question at fresher level, definitely here we are able to get this interview question now. So if you are the fresher, there is a chance of asking this type of questions by that interviewer to you. So you should be ready. Even though it's a small, very small question and very low priority question, but still you should be ready to answer for this question now. Why? Because in our resume, you are going to specify C, C++, Java, and so on, all these my technologies. When we have C, C++, Java, in C and C++, what we are having? Hash include statement. In the case of Java, what we are having there? Import statement. Then tell me the differences between these two. Right. Now I framed some answers here. Now try to answer for it. The very first answer here, what I am telling there, in which languages these two things are available? In which languages these two things are available? That here we have to specify. Right. So now understand it clearly. Hash include statements exist in C and C++. Clear? Whereas hash include statements exist in C and C++. Whereas import statements exist in Java. Clear? Hash include statements are available in C and C++, but import statements are available in where they are in Java. This is the first difference now. Next one. What hash include statement is able to include? What import statement is able to include? Right. Hash include statements are able to include the predefined libraries which are available in the form of header files. Hash include statements are able to include the predefined libraries which are available in the form of what their header files. Nice. Next one is import statements. Import statements are able to include the predefined libraries which are available in the form of packages. Right, sir. Now here what I am telling there, import statements are able to include the predefined libraries which are available in the form of like what their packages. 1 minute. Alright, sir. Now this is that another point here I am telling you. Now observe carefully. Point number 3. Who are evaluating these hash include statements and who are evaluating these import statements? Hash include statements are evaluated by the preprocessor. And C and C++ who are evaluating this hash include statement? No, preprocessors are evaluating what their hash include statements. All right, sir. Now, import statements are evaluated by the compiler and JVM both. In the case of Java, both compiler and JVM will evaluate what their import statements. Why? Because to check whether the packages are available or not, what we are going to use their compiler. And to load the package content to the memory, what we are going to use no JVM. So compiler will check packages are available or not. JVM will load the package content to the memory. That's it. Next one is after this fourth point here I'm telling there, hash include statements are supporting static loading. Yes, sir. Hash include statements are supporting what type of loading? No, static loading. Libraries are loaded at what time? Can no compilation time. Compilation time is what there? Static time. Static loading. Similarly, import statements import statements are supporting dynamic loading. Import statements are supporting what there? Dynamic loading. You know already this. What is the meaning of this dynamic loading? Loading the libraries at runtime. Right, sir. Next, one more point. Observe carefully this point here. Everybody has to understand it. No. First of all, I'm going to ask this question to now try to answer for it. As you are aware about C programming language a bit minimal, I'm asking this question to you now. For example, hash include stdio.h. This is actually we are writing the statement. Is it possible to write like this? Comma conio.h, comma math.h. Is it possible to provide? Is it possible to load more than one header file by using single hash include statement? Is it possible in C programming language? No, not at all possible. This is wrong. Not possible. Okay, but what it is possible actually? What is possible here? No, if you understand it, hash include stdio.h possible or not possible? Yes. Hash include math.h. Is possible or not possible? Yes. Hash include conio.h. Yes, sir. All are valid or not? This is valid. Now this is also be valid. Similarly, this is also be like what they're valid. Here I'm saying that this is like what they're invalid. So what is the conclusion here I'm telling there by seeing this point now? Conclusion would be in C and C++, in C and C++ applications, single hash include statement is able to include a single header file. Single hash include statement is able to include single header file. If you want to include more than one header file, then we have to use more than one hash include statement. More than one hash include statement. Clear? Here we are having examples. Now understand it clearly. Yes, sir. All of you are getting clarity on this point. What I am telling now? In the C and C++ applications, single hash include statement is able to include single header file. If you want to include more than one header file, then what we have to do? We have to write like what there? More than one hash include statement. Point is clear or not? That's it. Now, similarly, in the case of Java, what I am telling now, observe carefully. If I use import java.io.star, can you tell me what is the meaning of this star now? First of all, remember it, package is a collection of classes and interfaces. Package is what there? Collection of classes and interface. Java.io is a package which contains number of classes and number of interfaces. Java.util is a package which contains number of classes and number of interfaces. The meaning of this import java.io.star, here star is what there? All classes and interfaces from java.io package. What is that? All classes and interfaces from java.io package. Understand it? All classes and interfaces from java.io package. All right. Now the point what I'm telling there in the case of Java, in Java applications, In Java applications, single import statement is able to include more than one class or interface, of the same package. More than one class or interface of the same package. Single import statement is able to include more than one class or interface of the same package. For example, if it is from different package, no, if it is a different package, no, automatically multiple import statements here we are able to write. For example, 5 class I am writing, no, I need 5 classes, no, 2 classes are from one package, remaining 3 classes are from another package, no. How many import statements can I have to write? No, 2 import statements I have to write. But all 5 classes are coming from single package, no, one import statement is sufficient. I'll forget my point or not. But more than one header file, if you want to include, how many hash include statements you have to write in C program? Multiple. More than one hash include statement here we have to write. Understand? Just a small difference here I'm telling there. Here star notation is possible in the case of Java along with import statements, but star notation is not possible along with what there hash include statements. Right, sir. Now these are all the differences here we can understand. Just final touch. Understand it. What is the question here I'm giving there? What are the differences between hash include statement and import statement? Now see this one here. What is the first point here I'm telling there? Hash include statements are existed in C and C++, but import statements are available in Java. Hash include statements are able to include the predefined libraries which are available in the form of header files, whereas import statements are available in are able to include the predefined libraries which are available in the form of packages. Hash include statements are evaluated by the preprocessor, whereas import statements are evaluated by the compiler and JVM. What is JVM? Java Virtual Machine is a mission to execute Java program. Similarly, PVM. What is it? PVM? Python Virtual Machine. What is the purpose of it now? It can execute Python code, Python script. Okay, right, sir. Hash include statements are supporting static loading, whereas import statements are supporting what their dynamic loading. In the C++ applications, single hash include statement is able to include a single header file. If you want to include more than one header files, then we have to use more than one hash include statement. Example I have given. But in the case of Java, single import statement is able to include more than one class or interface of the same package by using star notation. What notation here? No, star notation. Example here I have given there. By that here we are able to get some clarity. So okay, fine. So this is completed, sir. Overall, second point and interview question is also be completed. Can I go for next difference now? All of you okay? Right. The next difference is very, very important. Everybody, conceptual, if you want to understand, this is very, very important. And one more point I'm telling to you, observe carefully. Why I'm taking all these topics and all these concepts here? One simple point. For example, outside mind, if anybody else may ask a question to you, what you are doing now? You may reply to them, I'm learning Java at Durgasoft. Immediately the question is, why we are learning only Java? Why not for C and C++? At least tell me some differences between C, C++ and Java. Before going to learn Java, at least why we should go for Java? There we are able to give all these kind of differences now. Understand it clearly. At least we have to open our mouth and we have to speak minimum 1 hour of time on this particular topic. Right, sir. Now here we are going to understand. Moreover, each and every point I'm going to give in a clear-cut information. Complete internal view also I'm going to provide it. Try to catch it. Everybody will speak about the differences now. But why these differences are coming? The justification is very, very important. That content level, that subject level we have to get. That is the reason why I'm putting this much of time on these basics now. Right, sir. Now let's go on to the point. Third one is what there? Important one. C and C++ are platform dependent programming languages. C and C++ are what there? Platform dependent programming languages. But Java is a platform independent programming language. Java is a platform independent programming language. This is a difference. Tell me, sir, what is the difference now we are going to understand now? C and C++ are what their platform dependent programming languages, but Java is what their platform independent programming language. Clear. Now, here I am going to provide, before going to understand C, C++, Java, whether they're platform dependent or platform independent, before that, what is platform dependent programming language? What is platform independent programming language? Or when a programming language is platform dependent, or when a programming language is platform independent. First, we have to understand that. After that, we will think about it, how C and C++ are platform dependent, or how Java is a platform independent, that we are going to understand. Right, sir. First, understand this point clearly. Platform dependent programming languages. If any programming language allows its applications to perform compilation and execution both on the same operating system, then the programming language is platform dependent programming language. Come again, what is the point I'm telling there? If any programming language allows its applications to perform both compilation and execution on the same operating system, not on two different operating systems, same operating system. Whatever the operating system we have used for compilation, the same operating system must be used for what? Execution. Not possible in other operating systems. Must use the same operating system. If it is a condition, if it is a case, no, then the programming language is a platform dependent programming language. Then the programming language what their platform dependent programming language. Please, all of you, once again, read the statement here, what I have given there. If any programming language allows its applications to perform both compilation and execution on the same operating system. I think already aware about it, what is compilation and what is execution. For what purpose we are performing compilation, for what purpose we are performing execution, already we have some information there. Alright, if any programming language allows its applications to perform both compilation and execution on the same operating system, then the programming language is a platform dependent programming language. Examples, C and C++, best examples. Examples are what there? C and C++. But here my question is, how C and C++ are platform dependent programming languages? Definition is okay, statement point of view is okay, but how that C and C++ are platform dependent? Give some information there now. I'll give clarity. Observe carefully. Let me take some diagrammatic representation. Guys, all of you are following the content? All of you are okay with this style? Is it okay? Right. Yeah. First of all, here what I am telling now. I want to take a C program. When I'm going to take C program, immediately what we have to provide there? Extension here we have to provide. What is that extension here? Dot C. Clear. This is my C program. Alright. After this, I want to compile the program. So I need to perform compilation. Whenever we have taken C program there, immediately one step is mandatory. What step is required here? Mandatorily here we have to provide no compilation here we have to provide. This is compilation. Now you only tell me, when we compile C program, automatically what file here we are able to get there? Now tell me. When we compile the program, definitely here we are able to get one file. What file here we are able to get? No, dot exe file here we are able to get. What is there inside the dot exe? I will talk later on. When we got this dot exe file, then here we have to perform what there? Execution. Definitely here we have to perform what their execution. Right, sir. Now, execution here we are going to perform, but who is performing that execution there now? C engine. Am I right or not? An engine to execute our C programs, no? Then that is what their C engine is performing this execution. When C engine is performing this execution, then automatically some outputs here we are able to get. Outputs here we are able to get. Now here we are able to get some results or outputs. So this is clearly the C program and it's a process and it's a structure. Now observe carefully. To perform compilation, here we require one operating system or not? Compilation is a process. To perform that process, operating system is required or not? Without having operating system, we can't do anything in our computer science. Operating system is a base that is required. So one operating system is required. What operating system I'm going to take now? Let's say for example, Windows operating system here I'm going to take. Is that clear? Execution is also be a process or not? In which way compilation is a process now, execution is also a process or not? Somebody else will execute our code, right? Who is that somebody else now? The process. Then how the process are generated now? From operating system only. So definitely operating system is required to perform execution. See, if you want to perform any action or any activity, process is required. The processes would be provided by the operating systems. Now tell me, as per the definition of the platform dependent programming languages, the same Windows operating system here we have to provide. What we have to provide now? Same Windows operating system. Now observe carefully. Compilation is going on what operating system? Windows. And execution is going on what operating system? Windows now. And definitely, if it is mandatory condition, our programming language is what their platform dependent programming language. But for our discussion point of view, then what I'm telling now, I want to remove this Windows here at runtime. For compilation time, Windows only. But for execution now, what I'm going to provide there, say for example, Linux operating system here I'm going to provide. Please check it. This is against to the C programming language content. C programming language is a platform dependent. For compilation and execution, same operating system is required. But what I have provided now, for compilation, Windows operating system. For execution, what operating system I provided now? Linux operating system I provided. What is going to be happen? Understand it? Put complete concentration here now. If you understand this topic, it is very simple to understand how Java is platform independent. Actually, our required topic is how Java is platform independent. But to understand that, I am telling to you how C and C++ are platform dependent. Right, sir. It's okay, fine. Understand it, no? Before going to start my discussion here, first you have to believe one point. What is the fundamental point you should know? All operating systems are not same. Windows is different, Linux is different, Solaris is different, Mac is different. All different operating systems are having their own representations, their own data representations, their own conventions, their own rules and regulations. Am I right or not? Understand it now. All operating systems are having their own rules and regulations, their own conventions, their own data representations. In Windows, I might be represented 010101, but it may be varied in what their Linux operating system. It may be varied in what their in a Unix might be in a Solaris operating system. No, not same representation in all the operating systems. Are you okay? If you believe this point, then only the concept is available here. Let's move to the point now. If I compile C program on Windows operating system, if I compile C program on Windows operating system, automatically a .exe file is generated. Am I right or not? What this .exe file is having no? .exe file contains bytecode. Sorry, .exe file contains directly executable code, not bytecode. .exe file contains directly executable code. Yes, sir. All of you are getting clarity. .exe file contains what there? Directly executable code. What it is actually? I'm going to give some clarity and observe carefully. Yeah, see this one. .exe file contains directly executable code. It is not directly executable code. And observe carefully. This point is important. And it is dependent on the local operating system. It is dependent on the local operating system which we have used, for compilation. Yes, sir. Now understand this point here. .exe file contains directly executable code, and it is dependent on the local operating system which we have used, for compilation. Please read the statement here. If I ask a question to you, tell me what is .exe file? It contains directly executable code. At the same time, what is its another nature? No, it's a platform dependent. What it is? No, platform dependent. What is the meaning of platform dependent? No, which it depends on the operating system which we have used for compilation. Indirectly, what I am telling there? Windows. Windows represented executable code. Yes, sir. Windows represented executable code. What it contains now? Tell me. Windows represented executable code. Am I right or not? Why I am telling Windows represented executable code? Why I am telling there? Why? Because we have used what operating system? Windows operating system. Clear? Now tell me. All of you now tell me. Execution could be performed by which one? C engine. C engine is installed on the top of what operating system? Come on. C engine is available on what operating system? Linux operating system. So what is the capability of the C engine? What is the capability of the C engine? The capability of C engine is it is able to execute only Linux. It is able to execute only Linux Linux represented code. It's able to execute only Linux represented code. Yes, sir. Got my point or not? C engine was installed on the top of the Linux operating system. So it is able to execute only what there? Linux represented code. That is the capability of the C engine. It was installed on the top of the Linux operating system. Clear? Now understand the situation here now. I compiled my C program on Windows operating system. Here we are getting .exe file. This .exe file contains what? Directly executable code, and it is dependent on the local operating system which you have used for compilation. Means that it generates, this compilation process generates Windows represented executable code. Observe carefully. If I give this Windows represented executable code to the C engine, which is on Linux operating system, it is understanding only Linux code. Then how is it possible to execute our Windows code on Linux operating system? Is it possible to execute our Windows code on Linux operating system? Is it possible? No, not at all possible. It is not at all possible. Am I right or not? It is not at all possible. Because of that reason, our program is not going to be executed. If you provide two different operating systems, no, C program is not going to be executed. Compilation is on one operating system, execution is on what there? Another operating system. So it is not possible to execute. Yes, sir. Got my point or not? But I want to execute my program. So what we have to do? Do you have any alternative for it now? If we want to run our program there safely, then what is that option here we have to do? Only one option here we have to do. What is that option here? You must not use Linux operating system at runtime. You must not use Linux operating system at runtime. So in place of Linux operating system, what operating system here we have to use? Come on, we have only one option, no other option here now. Our executable code is Windows represented only. So because of that reason, what we have to provide there? We must provide what? The same Windows operating system for what their execution. We have used Windows operating system for compilation, so we must use the same Windows operating system for what their execution. The compatibility is mandatory. Compatibility is required here. All of you get my point or not? So then when we provide this, then what's going to be happen there? Now tell me, in this scenario here what we are getting there, in place of this Linux, now here I'm going to provide like what there, Windows. It is able to execute what representations here? Now tell me, Windows representations on. Now tell me what is going to be happen here now. I compiled my C program on Windows. We are getting .exe file. The .exe file is representing what? Windows representations. It's a direct executable code, but it is having what there? Windows representations. Now we are providing Windows.exe file to what operating system? Windows operating system. Windows operating system is able to execute that Windows code or not? Now Linux operating system is able to execute Windows code or not? Now we supplied only what there? Windows representations now. Then C engine is able to execute that Windows representations, and C engine is able to provide our output, required outputs clearly. Because of this reason, C and C++ are what? Because of that reason, C and C++ are what? Platform dependent programming languages. Right. Now this is a clear-cut analysis here. We have to understand C and C++ are what? There platform dependent programming languages. Just 1 minute. Let me give some clarity on this point. Right, sir. Now, if we compile, C and C++ programs on Windows operating system, then the compiler will generate the same Windows represented .exe file. It contains directly executable code, and it is dependent on the Windows representations. In this context, to execute Windows code, we must provide the same Windows operating system for the execution. We must provide the same Windows operating system for the execution. This is a point here we have to understand. The respective diagram also we have given there. It's okay. This is the reason why C and C++ is what their platform dependent programming language. But still, this is not my actual point now. My actual point is what there, why Java is platform independent. So actually, as we are going to learn Java, why Java is a platform independent. And before going to understand that, what is platform independent? Before going to understand Java is platform independent, first of all, tell me when a programming language is platform independent programming language. Right, sir. Now observe carefully. First of all, tell me what is platform dependent programming language, sir? What is platform dependent programming language? Now, first of all, tell me here. What is the definition you have given there? If any programming language allows its applications to perform both compilation and execution on what? Same operating system, then the programming language is what? Platform dependent programming language. Am I right or not? Small change. If any programming language allows its applications to perform compilation is on one operating system, and execution is on the another operating system. Execution is on another operating system. Compilation on one operating system and execution on another operating system. Then that programming language is called. Then that programming language is a platform independent programming language. In platform dependence, compilation, execution, both must be performed on the same operating system. But in platform independent programming languages, no, compilation is on one operating system and execution is on what there? Another operating system. Yes, sir. All of you get my point or not? So this is exactly the meaning of what their platform independent programming language. Any example for platform independent programming language? Definitely Java. Next one is what there? Python and so on and so on and so on. Of course, .NET. All older programming languages are platform dependent. The latest and trending programming languages are what their platform independent. Platform independent is more advantage than what their platform dependent. Platform dependent is a drawback kind of thing. Platform independent is what their flexibility. Sir, got my point or not? Right, sir. Now, but my question is what there, as we are going to understand Java programming language, Java programming language, how Java is a platform independent programming language. Right, sir. And one more point I am telling there, with a small minute point, I am going to give conclusion. No, so your concentration is very, very important. It is not simple to understand, but still I am able to give effectively the content. No, but try to put more concentration. No. All of you okay? Can I move forward? Right, sir. See this, all of you know. Put complete attention. Then only we can understand it. No. This is my Java program. If it is Java program, what extension can I have to provide there? File extension should be .java. When I take this Java program, immediately I have to perform what there? Come on, what I have to perform there? Compilation. Every programming language you must perform what there? Compilation. Certain. All of you are following the concepts, no? Are feeling bored? The fundamental concepts, important concepts. So without having knowledge on these points, people are might be going. People are going to understand some remaining part of the technology. It's not good thing. The foundation should be very very strong. So here we have to understand it now. Right, sir. In a platform, independent compilation and execution can be on the same. No. Here, what is the definition I have given there? Now we are asking this question. If any operating system, sorry, if any programming language allows its applications to perform compilation on one operating system and execution on another operating system, then the programming language what there? Platform independent programming language. Of course, if you want to perform that on the same operating system for both, it's okay. Of course, it's also be allowed here. And one operating system and different operating system in the sense, of course, for both, if you want to provide same operating system, yes, you can, no problem. But it is capable of executing on different operating systems also, not only on the same operating system. Get my point or not? Right. That's more the point here. Now compilation here we are performing. No. Now tell me, when we compile Java program, automatically what file here we are able to get, sir? Now tell me. You have to respond for me. What file here we are able to get? No. That file is what there? Dot class. What is available inside the dot class? I will talk with you. After this, now what I am telling there, now I need to perform execution. When we are getting the dot class files now here we have to perform execution. Now multiple executions here I am going to perform there. Multiple executions here I am going to take. What are the multiple executions here we are going to provide? This is like what I am telling there. Execution. And here we are able to get what there? Some output. For comparison, we have to use one operating system, and for this execution also here we are able to use what there? Another operating system. Right, sir. Now tell me, by seeing this diagram, what we are understanding there, now tell me, how many times we are compiling our program? How many times compilation is going to be performed here? Only one time. But how many times we are executing our program there? Multiple times. In this case, in this example, I have taken 4 times. We are going to execute it. Now I'm going to provide operating systems. Now try to understand it now. For compilation, I'm going to take Windows operating system. For compilation, what operating system I have taken there? Windows. And for one-time execution, I'm going to take what there? Linux. For one time, Linux operating system I'm going to take. Second time, I'm going to take like what there? Say for example, Solaris. Another time here, I'm going to take like what there? Mac. Another time, I'm going to take like what there? The same Windows. Of course, I'm going to take the same Windows for execution. This is my setup. Okay. All of you ready now? Next important point, observe carefully. If I compile my Java program on Windows operating system, if I compile my Java program on Windows operating system, automatically a dot class file will be generated. Inside the dot class file, what is available? What code is available? Previously, we understood in .exe file. .exe file contains directly executable code. It is dependent on the local operating system where we compiled. Now, what is this dot class file? What is available inside the dot class file? I'm going to give some clarity. Put more concentration. All of you know. Put more concentration. Dot class file contains bytecode. What is the word? Bytecode. Dot class file contains what? Bytecode. What it is now? It is not directly executable code. It is not it is not directly executable code. It is an intermediate code. .exe file contains directly executable code, but .class file doesn't have directly executable code. But what it is no, it is an intermediate code. It is not source code. It is not executable code. Intermediate code. And uh, and uh, and it is not dependent on the. It is not dependent on the local operating system. It is not dependent on the. It is not dependent on. It is not dependent on any operating system, including Windows. It is not dependent on any operating system including what there? Windows. Why I'm stressing on this Windows now? For compilation, we have used what there? Windows operating system. Now please read out the statement here, what I have given there. By this, we are able to get the difference between .exe file and .class file. Simple. .exe file contains directly executable code that is dependent on the local operating system where we compiled. But what about .class file? .class file contains what code? Byte code. .class file contains what code here? Byte code. Understand? It is a single word actually. Byte code. What is its nature? It is not directly executable code. Okay. If it is not directly executable code, what it is? No, it is an intermediate code. It is what there? An intermediate code. And it is not dependent on any operating system. Even though we have used Windows operating system for compilation, no, the .exe file is .class file doesn't is not dependent on what their Windows operating system, not depending on any of the operating system, including Windows. Have you got the difference between .exe and .class file? No? Okay, nice. So finally, here what we are getting there, .class file here we are getting is a neutral bytecode, not representing any of the operating system representations. But I have a problem. What is the problem here? Here execution is going on what there? Linux operating system. So here that execution engine is able to understand only Linux representations. Here execution is going on Solaris operating system. Your execution engine is able to understand only what? Solaris representations. Here execution is going on Mac. Execution engine is able to understand only Mac representations. Here execution is going on Windows. So this execution engine is able to understand only what their Windows representations. Observe carefully. If I provide this neutral dot class file, neutral bytecode to this Linux operating system, is it possible to execute this neutral code on Linux operating system? Not possible. This execution engine is required what representations? No, Linux representations. This execution engine is required what representations? No, Solaris representations. This execution engine required what? Mac representation. This execution engine required what? Windows represent. But we are providing what? Neutral bytecode. This neutral, see, understand this now. It is not directly executable code, and it is an intermediate code, and it is not dependent on any of the operating system. Means that it is a neutral bytecode. It is an intermediate code, not representing any of the operating system. So if I provide this neutral bytecode to the Linux operating system, is that execution engine is able to execute that neutral bytecode on Linux operating system? No. Neutral bytecode is not executed by the Linux operating system. Linux operating system execution engine required only Linux representations. If I send this neutral bytecode to the Solaris operating system, there also the execution engine is not executing that. Why? Because execution engine is required only Solaris representations. If you send this neutral bytecode to the Mac operating system, execution engine is unable to execute that. Why? Because that execution engine is required Mac representations. I already said to you, operating system to operating system, that representations are varied. But here we are providing neutral bytecode, means that intermediate code, not directly executable code. But if you want to execute this bytecode on any of the operating system, the Linux, that means operating system specific bytecode is required. This is neutral bytecode, but if you want to execute on Linux, no, Linux based bytecode is required. If you want to execute bytecode on Solaris, no, Solaris based bytecode is required. If you want to execute this bytecode on Mac, no, Mac based bytecode is required. If you want to execute this on Windows, no, Windows based bytecode is required. Yes, sir. All of you are following this point or not? Almost all. The similar problem what we have seen in C programming language we are getting. Same problem. Here we are generating neutral bytecode, but to run it on any of the operating system specific bytecode is required. Yes, sir. Got it or not? Exactly in this particular situation. Exactly in this particular situation, Java people, to make Java as a platform independent programming language, Sun Microsystems has provided some converters. Sun Microsystems has provided some converters. For what purpose there? To convert the bytecode from neutral nature to local operating system representations. Sun Microsystems has provided some converters to convert the bytecode from neutral representation to its local representations. If it is converted, problem is solved. Exactly where the converters are provided by Sun Microsystems here. If you understand it, Sun Microsystems has provided these converters exactly in these locations. Now here we can understand this is one converter, this is another converter, and this is like what there, translator or converter, both are same, sir, in my point of view. This is another converter here, we are getting it. All these are like what their converters here, which are provided by the Sun Microsystem. These are the Sun Microsystem specification. All these are like what their conversion mechanisms or translations are provided by the Sun Microsystems here now. Let me provide this one. These are all like what their converters. Just I want to use the short name here, we can understand now. Right, what is the purpose of this converter now? Tell me. This converter is able to convert the bytecode from neutral nature to what representations? No, Linux representations. Now tell me, what is the purpose of this converter here now? Able to convert the bytecode from neutral representation to Solaris representation. What is the job of this converter here now? Is able to convert the bytecode from neutral representation to Mac representations. What is the job of this converter here now? Is able to convert the bytecode from neutral representation to Windows representations. Yes, sir. Now observe carefully. When I provide Linux representations to this execution, automatically execution engine can execute this Linux code or not. Then we are able to get output or not. When we provide Solaris bytecode to this execution engine can execute the Solaris representations. It is able to provide some output. Now, when we provide like a Maker represented bytecode to this execution engine, now it is able to execute it. It is able to provide some output. Similarly, when we provide Windows represented bytecode to the Windows operating system, execution engine is able to execute it. Then it is able to provide that output. But here my question is how Sun Microsystems has provided these converters. How Java people have provided these converters. How Sun Microsystems is a company which introduced Java programming language. How Sun Microsystems has provided these converters. Now understand it. Sun Microsystems has provided this conversion mechanism and execution in a single machine. Sun Microsystems has provided this conversion mechanism, conversion and execution both are in a single device. Now here also be Sun Microsystems has provided this conversion and execution in a single device. Now the name of that single device is what? JVM. This is JVM. Now here also be this is like what their JVM and this also be like what their JVM and this also be like what their JVM. Understand it how JVM is coming into the picture. Why JVM is coming into the picture. Now strictly I'm asking one question to all of you guys. Now tell me what is the purpose of the JVM? Come on, now tell me. Answer is available with you. What are the responsibilities of the JVM? Two responsibilities are available for JVM. What are the two responsibilities now? One is what there? Translating neutral bytecode into the local and local operating system bytecode. What is the purpose of first? What is the first responsibility of JVM? Translating the bytecode from neutral nature to local operating system nature. Second responsibility is what there? Executing the translated bytecode. Translation, execution. Two things now, translation and execution. Two responsibilities of what there? JVM. Yes, sir. All of you are getting clarity or not? Now tell me what is JVM? Java Virtual Machine. What is its two responsibilities? No. One is what there? Translation. Second one is what there? Execution. Yes, sir. Got it or not? That's it. Now, in this case, I'm going to ask one question to you. Now try to answer for this. I'm asking one question to all of you guys. Now try to answer for it. How many times we have compiled our program? Now tell me. Come on, everybody has to respond for me. How many times we have compiled our program? How many times we compiled our program? Only one time. See, compilation I have done only one time, one operating system. How many times we have executed our program? How many times we have executed our program in this example? 4 times. 4 times on same operating system or different operating systems? No. Different operating systems. Am I right or not? Okay, fine. Now tell me, for execution of our program 4 times, how many JVMs here we have used? Is it single JVM or 4 JVMs? My question is very clear. 4 times we are executing our Java program. All 4 times we are using single JVM or 4 different JVMs? Single JVM or 4 different JVMs? That is my question now. Your answer is what? Single JVM. How many of you are saying supporting for single JVM? Come on. Almost all my online students are saying that single JVM. You are also be. Offline students are also saying single JVM. Please raise your hands now. How many of you are saying single JVM? Okay, are 4 JVMs? How many of you are supporting 4 JVMs? No? Confusion. Now anyway, answer for this question is what there? 4 JVMs, not single JVM. You have to trust this point. 4 JVMs. Why sir? Why 4 JVMs? How we are saying that 4 JVMs? Remember forever. This is an internal point. Most of the people may not aware about it. Java is a platform independent programming language because of JVMs only. What is that? Because of JVMs only, Java is a program platform independent programming language. Am I right or not? But JVM is platform dependent. Twist. JVM is what? Platform dependent. Java programming language is what? Platform independent programming language because of JVMs only. But JVM is what? Platform dependent. Yes, sir. All of you get my point on it. But JVM is what there? Platform dependent. Not only JVM, Java compiler, JVM, Java profiler, Java decompiler, like so many tools are available inside the Java, so many components are available. All these components are platform dependent only. And a single statement I'm telling there, all these components, Java compiler, JVM, Java profiler, Java decom, all these components are collectively called as Java software. All these components are collectively called as what there? Java software. This total Java software is platform dependent. Total Java software is what there? Platform dependent. Yes, all of you are getting clarity on this. Now tell me, what is the conclusion I'm telling there? Java is a platform independent programming language because of JVMs only. But JVM is what there? Platform dependent tool. JVM is what there? Platform dependent tool. Not only JVM, the complete Java software is a platform dependent. Why? Because Java software is a collection of Java tools like Java compiler, JVM, and so on. All these are like what there? Java tools now. Yes, sir. Got it or not? Finally, Java is platform independent programming language, but JVM is what there? Java platform dependent. Example I'm telling there for our understanding purpose. No, English is a language, right? Who are speaking this English language now? Tell me. Do you think about it? English is spoken by only Britishers. English is a language which are used by Americans, which are used by Britishers, which are used by Indians, which are used by like what there? Some other countries, right? Every country they are able to speak English or not. So that language is international. Am I right? On that language is independent of the country. Platform independent. But who are speaking that language? No, we are the people. We are speaking that language. So we are Indians. We are dependent on what there? India. India is an operating system. We are the JVMs. We are speaking English language. We are dependent on operating system. We are the JVMs dependent on operating system, but we are speaking what there? English language. Americans are speaking English language. They are Americans. They are dependent on America. America is an operating system. Americans are JVMs. They are speaking still what there? English language. Britishers are what there? JVMs. They are dependent on what there? England. And they are speaking what there? English. But English is independent of all the countries or not? But each and every user, each and every person is dependent on their own country or not? In that way, we can understand that Java programming language is a platform independent because of JVMs only, but JVM is what there? Platform dependent. Not only JVM, the total Java software is what there? Platform dependent. That's it. Java programming language is platform independent, but Java software is what there? Platform dependent. What is this Java software? Java software is a collection of. Java software is what there? Collection of Java tools like Java compiler, JVM, Java profiler, Java signer, and so on and so on and so on. So many components are available. All these are what there? Platform dependent components only. Yes, sir. All of you are getting clarity or not? Okay. So notes I have not prepared so far for this content. Tomorrow I want to prepare notes for it. Why? Because one more time I want to explain this total Java platform independence in nature. After that I will prepare the notes on tomorrow. After completion of that, I will give one important interview question for this topic. After that, I will move on to the next difference between C++ and Java. That should be about the pointers. Pointers are available. Pointers are available in C++, but pointers are not exist in Java. Why? What is the reason for it? That kind of content here we are going to understand. Okay, now today I want to stop this session and tomorrow I'll continue the content here. Okay, and again I'm confirming to you after a few days of time I may take the classes in online. Please remember it. Right from first day onwards I'm giving the classes. No, but somewhat long time I'm going to take in offline there. But I have some plans there. As per that I'm going to take the class in online also. Then you have to be ready for that. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. We'll meet on tomorrow. Thank you. Yeah, guys, those who are attending in online, please, if you have any queries there, I can respond for it. Now, please respond to me, guys. What are the Java tools? So Java compiler, JVM, Java profiler, all these things are like what are there? Java tools. Okay. Yeah, Java internal things. No. Yeah, daily classroom notes are going to be available, sir. Daily classroom notes are going to be classroom notes and class videos are going to be available for everybody. Yeah, for online students, for offline students, every class, every recorded recordings will be provided to you. Every class recordings will be provided. Sure. Okay. Hmm. Come. Uh, Details of how to make fee payment. Sri Lakshmi, just I'm giving just 1 minute. Yeah, Sri Lakshmi, just please take this number there. Then Hemant is a person for it. Just take this number. Then he will. He's the responsible person for this admission process and everything. Just you can talk with him. I'll give more clarity on it. And I'm giving that. Take this number. In the document it is available, or else I'll share that number to you. Yeah, my classes videos, every class video will be provided. Sure. Yeah. Just one JVM convert neutral bytecode to the local operations code and execute it. Yes, perfect. Kumar, right? Perfect. Yeah, full stack Java. What classes here we are going to get? No, it's better to ask with this admin person here. Otherwise, might be here we can understand it. No, in full stack Java, these many courses here I'm going to be covered. Yeah, they are the courses here we are going to be get. No, inside this full stack Java. Just one time check for it. Core Java, Advanced Java, Hibernate, Spring, Spring Boot, microservices, Maven, Aragil, UI technologies, and Angular or React JS. They are the 10 courses you are able to get. Okay, fine. Java in the sense only core Java or any other one. Tools like what there? Just nothing. Tools in the sense just only Maven is a toolkit we are going to cover. Then if it is required one or two other tools like Log4j or something else, I'm able to cover that. It's a part of internal part of the course. Okay. I think you want to ask to me? No, he's not taking the classes now. Now here is in online, better to attend in online if it is required. Mm. Then, so whose classes you record? If you want to attend one classes there, just directly you can attend for in online. He's taking class in online only, not in offline. Okay, better to inquire it online. Online department is different. There you can take it now. Right. Okay, fine, right. The core and advanced Java classes will be taken parallelly, but half of the core Java here we have to complete. Half of the core Java, after completion of half of the core Java, then you are going to understand. Then you'll go for like what there other. So Maven I can cover no. Then in microservices I will cover Git, JUnit a little bit. Jenkins, Docker, Kafka okay I will cover. Jira no, Datadog no, SonarQube no. These things may not be covered. So then build tools I'm able to cover and Kafka I'm able to cover. Okay. So no separate project batch, sir. It's not separate project batch. Project batches may be different. No, it's a training, purely technology teaching only, technology training only. Part of the course, I'm able to complete small projects, not like any real time project. No, it's not for real time project. Will you cover Kafka and other messaging tools? Yes, Kafka I can cover an active MQ and Rabbit MQ. These things I'm able to cover. Three things. Kafka I can cover, Rabbit MQ and active MQ. But anyway, ActiveMQ and RabbitMQ both are outdated. No, Kafka is now nowadays is available. Yeah, JUnit maybe depending on the requirement, I can go for it. JUnit. Then whenever we are using this map in there, automatically will come some information there. That little bit I'm able to cover. Required information. Okay. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Guys, then shall we meet in tomorrow? Yeah, please. Yeah, at the end of this spring boot, I may cover that security. Okay. Now, basic authentication I'm able to cover. As of now, I have a plan for it, but maybe then depends on the time. If it is possible, then I'm able to cover like what there, what and maybe like what the JWT I'm able to cover. But these two things we can make it as optional. But basic awareness on security we are able to get. Again, I'm telling there what and then JWT I'm able to make it is optional, but basic awareness on security I'm able to provide. Sure. If it is depending on the time, if it is available, I'll try to cover it, but make it is optional. Thank you. Guys, anything else? Right, guys. Thank you. Thanks a lot. We'll meet on tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll come to the remaining part. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Guys, then if you want to get any information about our courses there, then Amanth is an admin person for us. Now he's available with this particular number. Just directly we can talk with him. Okay, I'm sharing that number in the questions box now. So just you can copy this number, you can save that number. Anything about our classes, then there only if we are able to get that anything about our classes now, directly you can talk with him. Okay, thank you.